Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Discovery Group, we would like to welcome you to Torun to the official press conference of Discovery Sports events FIM Speedway World Championship. My name is Marcelina Rutkowska-Konikiewicz, and I have a great pleasure to host this meeting together with Michał Korościel.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we will take you through the presentation, and we're gonna tell you about the new concept of global speedway created by a new promoter, Discovery Sport Events.
Exactly. We're going to find out all about the new vision, the new brand identity, how the format of the events will look like, and also we will know when and where we're going to race in 2022. Yet more to come, and including some of surprises.
Big surprises. Yeah, we are going to introduce you in the new era of speedway. Of course, we can't do it by ourselves. That's why we are joined by our special guests, Jorge Viegas.
Please give a warm
FIM president. Yeah, clap your hand. Clap your hand. Francois Ribeiro, head of Discovery Sport Events. And Tony Ricardson. Tony Ricardson, please welcome.
Let's give a round of applause.
But first, I would like to welcome the mayor of Torun, Mr. Michał Zaleski.
Please give a warm welcome to the mayor of Torun.
Dzień dobry, panie i panowie. Toruń, 800-letnie miasto Mikołaja Kopernika, wpisane na listę Światowego Dziedzictwa Kultury UNESCO. Od 2010 roku organizuje międzynarodowe Speedway Grand Prix na motoarenie Toruń. Jest to tor ceniony przez zawodników, kibiców, ale i także kamery telewizyjne, dzięki czemu informacje z tego toru docierają na cały świat do milionów widzów.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Torun, 800-year-old city of Nicholas Copernicus, inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, has organized the Speedway Grand Prix at Toruń Moto Arena since 2010. The track is appreciated by the racers and loved by the eye of the TV camera and millions of spectators all over the world.
W minionych 11 latach Toruń wspólnie z firmą Benfield Sports International zorganizował 12 rund najważniejszych zawodów żużlowych na świecie i za każdym razem z kompletem publiczności. Podczas dotychczasowych edycji Speedway Grand Prix gościliśmy w Toruniu ponad 160 000 kibiców.
In the last 11 years, the city of Torun, in cooperation with Benfield Sports International, organized 12 rounds of the most important speedway tournaments in the world. Each year, one tournament was organized and attended by full audience, with the exception of the year 2020, when 2 tournaments were organized. During all these Speedway Grand Prix rounds, over 160,000 spectators have attended the tournaments.
Panie i panowie, to na motoarenie w Toruniu już 6-krotnie poznaliśmy indywidualnego mistrza świata, dwukrotnie Bartek Zmarzlik, dwukrotnie Ty Wuffinden i po jednym razie Greg Hancock i Chris Holder. Po raz 7 w tym roku poznamy kolejnego mistrza świata i po raz 4 z rzędu w Toruniu.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was at Moto Arena in Torun that the individual world champion in Speedway championship in Speedway was won in Torun. 2 times it was won by Bartosz Zmarzlik, 2 times by Ty Wuffinden, 1 time by Greg Hancock, and 1 time by Chris Holder. And this year it will happen for the 7th time and the 4th time in the row in Torun.
A przed nami kolejne 2 edycje, a więc dziś i jutro na motoarenie Toruń w organizacji Grand Prix W tych wszystkich latach współpracowaliśmy z wyjątkowym człowiekiem, z dyrektorem zarządzającym firmy BSI, panem Paulem Bellamy i jego zespołem. Bardzo dziękuję za piękną, udaną i efektywną kooperację między miastem Toruń a firmą BSI, a szczególnie Paulem. Paul, ja jestem szczęśliwy, że poznałem Ciebie i mogłem z Tobą współpracować.
The next two rounds will be held in Toruń today and tomorrow. And in the organization of Grand Prix, the city of Toruń cooperated with an exceptional man, the managing director of BSI, Mr. Paul Bellamy, and his team, to whom I am gratefully thankful for beautiful, successful and effective cooperation. Paul, you're an exquisite man. I was happy to meet you.
Panie i panowie, witam wszystkich, którzy przybyli na tegoroczne dwie edycje Grand Prix w Toruniu. Od przyszłego roku, przez najbliższe 10 lat, przez 10 sezonów promotorem Speedway Grand Prix na świecie będzie firma Discovery Sports Events. Dynamiczny, gotów do nowych wyzwań także na terenie naszego kraju, w Polsce, pan François Ribeiro. Dziękuję, François, za Twoją toruńską obecność.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome to all the guests who have arrived to Toruń to participate in Grand Prix 2021. From next year on, for the next 10 years, the promoter of Speedway Grand Prix will be Discovery Sports Events, and the dynamic and ready to take up the challenge, Mr. François Ribeiro. François, thank you very much for visiting Toruń.
Dziękuję bardzo. Do spotkania na Moto Arenie.
Thank you very much. I hope to see you at the Moto Arena.
Thank you for your speech.
Thank you very much for this beautiful welcome speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to witness a historical moment for Speedway. After over 20 years, FIM decided to have an agreement with the new promoter for Speedway World Championship.
Therefore, we would like to invite on the stage the president of FIM, Mr. Jorge Viegas. Give a warm welcome.
Give a round of applause.
Good morning, all of you. You may wonder why the FIM changes a promoter after 20 years. Well, before that, I want to take the opportunity to thank the Mayor of Toruń, Michał. Thank you very much for welcoming us, for hosting us, and for having built an arena only for Speedway. This is not in every city. But coming back to the decision, we wanted, when I was elected president, to make Speedway a more visible discipline, going to more countries and having more riders, especially the young riders. And so we made a tender, including the existing promoter. We had many offers, let's say 4 offers, from very important companies, and after long discussions, long negotiations, at the time it was Eurosport Events, now Discovery Sports Events, they made a very ambitious proposal. We are here to see, starting next year, that all the promises will be a reality, will be a fact. But you'll see in this presentation that I had the opportunity already to see that they call a new era, I would say, we are going to modern times in Speedway. We are going to big investments, we are going to another level, and I'm sure all the fans, and we are here in the city and in the country where Speedway is really maybe the #1 sport. When I say this to people outside Poland, they don't believe me, it's a fact. Poland is the country of the Speedway. And you'll see, all the fans with this presentation, that I am sure we took the right decision. This is the most important thing. If we are deceived, Francois, I will hold you responsible. So you are here, you don't let me die. One thing that is good in this presentation, this is the second time I have a presentation with this man. The first one was the Endurance World Championship, and they obliged me to make a lap in a motorcycle. This time, I'm not going to do that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, after such an introduction, now it's about the time to find out more about the new promoter, about Discovery Sports events.
Yeah, I'd like you all to put your hands together, to clap your hand, and help me welcome Head of Discovery Sport Events, Mr. François Ribeiro. Bonjour, François.
Good afternoon. So happy to be here, so happy to reconnect with people after 18 months of working by Zoom and video conference. Welcome, everybody. It is the start. This weekend is a super important weekend for the riders, but today is a very important day because this is the start of our 10-year journey in Speedway. And Paul is in the room, Bellamy, and I want to thank you so much and tell you how much we are proud to take over that wonderful championship on which you have been invested so much over the last 20 years. You can be very, very proud of what you have achieved, and it will be a challenge to take it to the next level. Thank you, Paul. And thank you to your team and to your staff and to IMG who was working behind you. So, better than words, we prepared a short video clip to explain you that amazing thing that Discovery is progressively building brick by brick in the sports industry.
Seen anything like this in golf? We have plenty more.
This place is magnificent. Congratulations, and there she is.
Good start after action. Let's talk golf. I really use my hand and rotate them really hard.
Not bad.
Believe me, when you wake up every morning and you know that you are part of this family, you feel good for the rest of the day. So it is an incredible group, Discovery, and everything they are doing in sport, they are doing it very seriously. They are doing it on a long-term basis, and whatever we do is long-term planning and building assets for the group. So we are different, and we will be different to IMG because we are at the same time a promoter, but we are also at the same time a producer, a broadcaster, a media distributor. So it's quite a unique position on the market to be all under one roof. So we started, indeed, we love wheels, as you can see, 4 wheels and 2 wheels. We have started our job in 2005 back with FIA, with touring car. We have expanded in rallying. Now we are going really big into electric racing with FIA. Don't worry, Speedway will never turn electric. Then we started our journey with FIM in 2015 when we took over the Endurance World Championship. We have been awarded by George straight after his election out of a tender process promoter of Speedway for the next 10 years. And we are just about to start also on 2 wheels. Something which will be extremely spectacular, the Track Champions League. It's a complete revamp of track cycling, and that's starting, it's just around the corner, November 6 in Spain. So all in all, next year we will be organizing 45 events, 60 events by 2024. 15 of them will be Speedway.
That sounds really, really solid. So what about the mission as a promoter?
So it's, I mean, our job won't be much different from what Dorna is doing at MotoGP level or from what BSI has been doing at a Speedway level. It's just that the scope of our responsibility is a bit larger because we are at the same time a media group which has a huge amount of capacities to expose a product and to expose a sport. So yeah, I mean, we will do the usual things for a promoter, the calendar, the logistics, specifically when we move on the flyaway events. We will do the TV production by ourselves. We will do the TV rights distribution by ourselves. We will do the broadcast by ourselves. And all the marketing and the fan engagement and so on. Also, we are putting together a first-class team to work with FIM in partnership. We have already started, and George, it's really good and really easy to work with FIM. It has been a bit particular to. I signed that contract with that man just to let you imagine, in February 2020, and 1 month after, the world stopped. And since then, we had to put a team together to run meetings with Speedway, local organizers, and so on that we were not familiar with, by Zoom, and we had to do everything, 90% of our duties by Zoom. It has been a bit particular, but yet we are there today.
Francois, it looks like a big idea, but what's your vision? Exactly, what's your vision?
So our vision is what we sold to FIM when we were pitching in 2019 is no different from what we are presenting today. And the first thing where we start from is to think vertical, to think from grassroots to pro level. It is the first time, it has not been the case before, it is the first time that the entire international Speedway pyramid is under the same umbrella, under one promoter. It was not the case before, and that will put us in a very strong position to look after youngsters and develop junior championship. So yeah, SGP is obviously the flagship and will be under umbrella. The Speedway of Nations also. We will be working closer with the regional championships. We see the regional championships as a feeder to the World Championship. We will be responsible of the under-21, we will be responsible of the under-16, and we will be working with Tony on a new grassroots level to bring more kids into the sport, to make the sport more accessible to kids between 10 and 15 to enter that sport and show them a clearer path and an easier way to access Speedway.
So this kind of strategy will definitely benefit the sport itself.
We think so. So we won't run the junior events separately from the SGP events. We want to connect the world champion juniors to the SGP riders. It is no secret that Discovery has quite an extensive admiration for what Dorna has achieved in MotoGP since 1992, and probably one of the most beautiful things they have achieved as a promoter is that ladder they have created with FIM, Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP.
Can I make you a difficult question, Francois? What about girls in your sport, in our sport?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's okay. I could return you the question for MotoGP.
Okay.
But yeah, ideally, if we do a grassroots level, it should be for boys and girls. You're completely right, George. But what they have done at Moto2 and Moto3 level, I mean, is clearly a benchmark to us. And so we will bring the under-21 and under-16 on SGP platform. Obviously, our priority number 2 is to expand the calendar, to make it less Eurocentric. When we looked at, forget 2020 and 2021, which are very COVID years, very particular years, we all understand the reason why promoters had to reshuffle their calendar and shrink completely the footprint. But when you look at the 2019 picture of the calendar, 70% was in 3 different areas only. It's not even Europe, it's only a part of Europe. So we want to expand this, we want to extend the season and increase the amount of events, that's for sure. The third priority as a promoter is to improve the on-event experience and on-screen experience. I made no secret to FIM, and I made no secret to the other leagues, national leagues, that we want SGP championship to be on top of everything, on top of everything, on top as an experience, on top as an intensity, on top as a product, on top as a program. It's a world championship. It needs to be the flagship of the sport, the inspiration of the sport, and we are going to invest, we come back to this in a minute, to make every SGP event special. Obviously, priority number 4 is media distribution, but when you are Discovery, it's almost a given that we will go very aggressive on the strategy and the broadcast to put the sport in front of more eyeballs. We will use all the capacity we have, but we will go also beyond Discovery Group. And last but not least, everything we do, Speedway is very particular in a sense that you don't have the bike industry, the likes of Yamaha, Ducati, or Honda, or Suzuki paying the bills, paying for the sport at the end of the month. It's something which is 100% between riders and fans. And everything we do, we will put riders at the centerpiece of our strategy. We spent a day with them. We put them in a room, no agents, nobody, only us and them, to give them a preview of what we are doing and explain them how important they are. Most of them think that they are superstars, but they are superstars in Speedway community. I spent 20 years in motorsport. I've been spending 3 years or 4 years in UK and never came across the name of Tai Wufiden until 2019. That says a little bit the room of improvement we see to bring those exceptional riders also to the next level, raise their international profiles and expand their fan base.
Speaking of which, we would like to also ask you about the idea of the new brand identity, which is also very important.
It's super important. It's the beginning of a new cycle, so we wanted not only a refresh, but a complete revamp of the brand identity. Let's have a look.
That looks really, really great. You'd like to also share with your ideas on how you came up with this new brand identity?
Well, we wanted to have something very aggressive, very modern. When we showed it to the riders yesterday, they went, wow, I want to have a shirt, I want to buy merchandising, I want to have a cap with it. So they felt excited about it. So we were pretty happy about it. And what it was important to us was the declination at junior level, to understand that this is one pyramid, one family. So we won't be talking any longer about under 21, under 16. We say SGP2, SGP3, SGP4.
Okay, let's talk about the format.
So the format is it's what immediately we said to FIM, to the FIM Speedway Commission. The first time we had a session with them, we said, look, you have done an exceptional job. We take over a sport which is working. We don't need to change it. We don't need to ask, we did not ask a single twist of the sporting or technical regulation. So the sport will remain as it is. 20 heats, 2 semi-finals, 1 final, 15 permanent riders, and 1 wildcard selected event by event. What is going to change is we're going to make it more compact. We're talking to different stakeholders since 2020. We understood the difficulties of the calendar clashes and the logistics of the riders going from SGP, free practice on Friday, to the leagues, sometimes real logistic issues. So we decided to turn every SGP event as one-day event on Saturday, free practice and qualifying in the afternoon, which will give us the opportunity to open the gates earlier for super fans who want to do more activities, promotional activities with riders in the afternoon, and obviously keep SGP Saturday evening prime time. It was good news for the riders. Most of them told us it was expected, but we increased significantly the prize money. I think they deserve it. They are pro riders, so I think it is good that they make more money out of it. And then expecting the season, we want to go up to ideally 15 events. It won't happen in 1 year. It won't probably happen in 2 years, but the calendar we see potentially is up to 15, and why not go and have 2 SGP events in the bigger speedway markets? Why not, if we find good venues, if we find good spots and good local promoters, why not do 2 events in Denmark, or 2 events in Russia, or 2 events in Sweden? It's really important that we offer more events, more show to the fans, and tell a story all year long, which we think could start in March and finish in November. Return in Oceania, return to USA is also priority on our list. USA would say more midterm.
That sounds very, very promising. About SGP, we know almost everything, but what about the junior competitions, SGP2 and SGP3?
So SGP2 will be 3 events. We picked up some of the biggest ones, Cardiff, Torun, for instance. We want to offer the kids the opportunity to race on the big events, in the big stadium, since we will be free for Friday for the SGP, it will be the opportunity to bring the juniors on Friday. SGP3 will be 1 event in the summer. For kids below 16, it is important to target an event during their summer holidays. And whatever we do, we want to connect, keep those, not only raise those kids, but also keep them on SGP days, to connect them with SGP riders, run promotional activities with them, and start building up their profile. That's what Dorna has done superbly, because they start working with kids when they are that big, and they prepare them for pro level. And now when you see Fabio Quartararo, for instance, he is a Moto3 product. He has been through Moto2, and when he gets to MotoGP, he's prepared. He is pro in every sense, not only on track, but also off track. And that's what we're going to do with the kids.
Exactly.
I know it was super important for you, George, when we presented that strategy.
Yeah, because one of our objectives is really to give to the young riders stairs to go up.
Yeah.
And this looks looks the right way to do it. And as you said in the beginning, we have articulated levels, steps, till the Speedway Grand Prix. That is the must, and that's why we have such a spectacular discipline in Speedway.
Yeah.
And speaking of youth racing, young riders, they definitely require a role model, a real role model to follow. And we would like to share who is going to be our ambassador, right?
Well, he doesn't need any introduction. He's the most successful ever riders in Speedway, Tony. We felt in love with Speedway, but somehow I felt also in love with Tony. When I started discussing with him, he embraced our will to look after youngsters, and super happy to get him on board. Tony.
Please clap your hands. Standing ovation for Tony Rickardsson.
Hello, Tony. Welcome, and it's great to have you here. But first, question to Francois.
Curiously, Francois, I would have chosen the same person to help me.
So it must have been a good decision then.
Tony, what does it mean to you to be a new ambassador of SGP?
Well, obviously it's been a great honor to be part of this. I mean, it's all the riders' dream, really, to have a big organization that have a lot of focus on their persons, and it can't fit better for me to be part of this.
And what do you think about higher prize money?
Yeah, of course, that helps, but Grand Prix Speedway for me have always been a great window to promote myself as a person, as also the sport. So about higher prize money, sure, that doesn't hurt.
But let's put money aside, because what's most important, it's the youth racing and how to develop this grassroots. You came up with the idea together how to develop it.
Yes, something that's I feel has been missing. There are some great programs you can watch in different countries. They've been quite successful, but they haven't come as far as we hope that we can do. One big thing, as I have always felt, that it's very difficult for the... Is that better? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's much better, yeah. One thing I felt that's for the non-motorsport family, it's been extremely tough to find the right bike to access the sport. Of course, if you have somebody in the family who are familiar with the sport and the speedway, it's working. But we really want to make it more accessible for the non-motorsport family, and also integrate the youth and the grassroots racing together with the Grand Prix. And I just love when I see events like from the US, when you watch the Supercross and you also see the 50cc bikes going around in the intermediates, in the breaks. It's not only that it really warms my heart to see the young kids together with their parents at such a nice event, but it's also like a perfect school for the young kids to see and learn, to be around the top riders in the world, and also for the parents to see how they work and help them to prepare for the future.
Definitely having Tony on board is a guarantee of success for the youth racing. Thank you so much for joining us here, and please stay with us on the stage. And we will also talk about the team racing, the pair racing, Speedway of Nations.
Yeah, so first, to finish on SGP4, I mean, we are working with Tony and with FIM right now on what could be the best technical definition of the product. And once we would have agreed something with FIM, then will come the second phase of the job, which will be talking to the federations, talking to the clubs, and encouraging them to adopt those new regulations and start their national championships at grassroots levels in their country. That will be a long journey. If it won't happen over the night, but with Tony, we are super determined to make it a success.
Sounds great. So looking forward to it, and also looking forward to Speedway of Nations as well next year.
So we when we looked at, I mean, we love the concept of Speedway of Nations. I think it's, something that FIM has done amazingly well in the different categories. The Speedway of Nations in motocross is, the Motocross of Nations is just,
I just came from Mantova last weekend, and it was a huge success, especially because Italy won. So you can imagine how are the Italians. But this is, I've always said that the competition by nations, it's a word to explore. Yeah. Because there are really fans that are there for their countries, and in the Speedway of Nations, it's called SUN. That's a good name. I'm sure that we can do better.
Yeah, so when we looked at the current organization with one semi-final in a country and another semi-final in another country and then the final in a third country, we thought about it and proposed FIM a different format. So the idea is not to change the nature of the competition by nations, or not to change the competition by pair. But what we want to do is create more intensity, more of a big happening, always at the end of July, on one country, 1 week, one track, and to give Speedway fans the experience of their life. We obviously, Motocross of Nations is a benchmark, but not only. And we are really going to put significant resources behind it to make that competition special and different from SGP.
Okay, let's talk about the Sgp calendar. When, where, and why?
So today we talk about 22. There is still, we have a lot of work have been done, but we are nearly getting there. Let's have a look on the 2022 schedule.
So that is how an entire calendar looks like. Just a few words about how is it?
Yeah, a few comments. First comment, because we are in Poland, we were not planning to run 4 events in Poland. We were planning to run 3 events in Poland, and we had an issue with a local issue with Latvia, so significant that we could not run. We won't be racing in Latvia next year, and so we exercised a reserve event with Wroclaw, but that's for 22 only. The second thing is the final in Australia. We want to get back to Australia, but as you may know, we cannot travel yet to Australia. They are still in lockdown until November 5th, so to run meetings with them, to see them face to face is absolutely impossible. So we have discussions with venues. Motorcycle Australia is involved. We are nearly in day-to-day contact with them. They are probably watching us live on streaming. But we still need some time to prepare ourselves. There will be celebration of 100 years anniversary of the sport in 2023. The sport was born in Australia in 1923, and we want to get there at the latest by 23 to celebrate that birthday.
And hopefully we will, of course, but what's notable for all the fans of Speedway from Toruń is that, again, the Speedway Grand Prix round will be staged here. We are also here today, so there is something special about the city.
I think our host, and you will be shorter than the first speech, but I think he has something special to say. I know that he has Speedway in his heart. He's a wonderful mayor for his city, but also a great supporter for SGP. So, Michel, you wanted to tell us something?
Oops.
Please give a warm welcome again to Mayor of Toruń.
Thank you. Jestem bardzo szczęśliwy, że będziemy rozmawiali o przyszłorocznej edycji Speedway Grand Prix i nie tylko o przyszłorocznej. Toruń jest wymarzonym miejscem dla Speedway Grand Prix, dla każdych zawodów speedwayowych i Toruń jest tym miejscem, które nie zawiedzie. Jestem przekonany, François, że wszystko, co w Toruniu, będzie na najwyższym poziomie, na takim jak chcesz.
You understand, François?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I'm getting fluent in Polish.
I am happy to hold talks about next year's Grand Prix, and not only next year's. So, Toruń is a great place for any speedway event, and we will not fail, and everything will be top-notch, as you expect, François.
I'm sure. The first thing I said to Michel, the first time I met him, I said to him, look, if we had 10 stadiums like Toruń in the world, that championship would fly just to another planet. Congratulations for what you have done, and super happy to work with you on a long-term basis.
Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. François, but there is anything else you would like to reveal in the nearest future?
Yeah.
Come on.
So apparently you bring back to life Speedway World Cup, which was missed a lot by the fans.
Yeah, and frankly, the concept is so powerful. The name is so powerful. The name resonates, but way beyond Speedway. World Cup is just an incredible brand in the sports industry. And Speedway World Cup used to be probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest event, international event in every year, up to, I think, 2017. And we really want to get it back to life. But we sat down with FIM and said, look, we should not run it. We think it would be wrong to run it every year. Like FIFA World Cup is strong because it is rare. It is expected by fans. It is expected by countries. You have to have some timeline to prepare a nation for this, a country for this. So we thought that maybe 4 years was a bit too far away. 2 years would be maybe too frequent. So we have decided to go on a rotation basis every 3 years, but always at the same time, end of July, on rotation basis, Speedway of Nation and Speedway World Cup. And if you understood the interest we have for young riders, that's a powerful tool to promote young riders, since the under 21 will be part of each team. So this is the opportunity for them to perform at top level and to put themselves on the world map. That will give us also the opportunity with Tony to do a rookie World Cup once the SGP4 format is hopefully flying and is being deployed in different countries. We want to invite the best kids from Sweden, from Denmark, from Russia, from Australia, from UK, and give them the opportunity to race together once in the Speedway World Cup. That week with the big boys, we will be promoting them, we will broadcast them, and give a chance to promote that category properly.
Francois, we've got also a few changes in the TV production, right?
Yes, we take also the sport to the next level. We want the product to be absolutely amazing on screen. So we show you in a minute all the new elements that we will bring on each event. The latest cutting-edge technology available on the market, the Spider cameras, Jimmy G super slow-mos will be deployed at each event. We'll bring telemetry, obviously. I think it's live data is part of motorsport, and it's needed. And we will go way beyond live broadcast. When you see the impact of Netflix Drive to Survive had on Formula One, you understand the importance of going beyond live program with special type of documentaries, 100% focus on riders, and that we will be doing normally straight after Christmas.
That will be a lot of innovation, that's for sure. What about the setup upgrades?
There is some really spectacular pit boxes here organized for the upcoming Grand Prix.
I think riders and fans will love it.
I'm sure they will. It's almost like I getting really excited and want to get back in the Grand Prix again.
You want a wild card for next year?
If I can have one of these pits.
There is already your name on it.
Okay, why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
Tony, would you like to get a wild card in Molilla? We can make a deal.
Well, I'm not sure if I want to ride, but I would just be happy to have one of these pit boxes and sit around in the pits and cheer everybody on. It looks great.
With these pits, for sure they won't leave the pits, they won't go for a race.
I'll maybe bring my overall as well.
So this is real. And this is only the beginning. All the guests will have the opportunity to see it next downstairs. Yeah. Yesterday, we brought all the riders. They were not expecting it, and we showed them the pits. And I think for 30 seconds, they were totally speechless. One of them said, it looks like MotoGP standards. And for me, it was probably the best compliment I could hear from them. They felt super excited about it, and when people will see this on TV, they understand that we are talking the absolute top level.
That was definitely a big surprise for riders. What other surprise are you bringing in?
Yeah, well, it's not only this year. We're going to bring a big stage, big studio with huge LED screen, which we will use for shoulder programs before and after the Grand Prix. But we will also be using this for the draw ceremony for the semis, so that fans can understand better what's going on. We will bring a huge central stage with LED screens animated and a lift for the top 3 riders, which we'll be using for the opening and closing ceremony. We really have in mind what North American people are doing so well with NBA or NFL when you are part of those events. I mean, it's a unique experience, and we want to bring this in Speedway. The waiting area will be an enormous LED screen on the floor, which we will film from the top. And when the riders, before they hit the track, you will be able to see on the LED screen their heartbeat, their stats, their race number, their nationality, their face, their So to build up the momentum before they hit the track, we will have a small hospitality to bring a special guest in the pits. We have to improve that part also. And there will be also a fan zone deployed outside the venues, since fans will be spending probably more time on Saturday, probably arrive earlier at the event. This is the opportunity for us to engage and interact with them, and it's part of the experience.
Yeah, and what about the new communication tools?
So also we do quite a big revamp there. So there will be a new website. Today, SpeedwayGP.com is still running because the championship is not over. So there will be a switch towards the end of the year. Everything we do, all the communication tools we do will be in multi-language, in Polish, in Russian, in German, in Danish, in English. It's so important for us that fans can read and follow Speedway news in their mother tongue language. So the new architecture will go live probably from November. An app. I mean, I remember my first experience in Warsaw in 2019. I saw 50,000 spectators with scorecards on their knees, and no one with an application. So I remember my first experience. It was not that easy to understand for a newcomer or a beginner like me. Why do they change a helmet color? Why do they start inside or outside? So there will be an app, interactive, which will take fans and specifically younger generation through the evening with huge amount of videos, data, and so on.
So what about the TV broadcast and media distribution?
So the goal is to expand the fan base. So first we go global. Not only UK or not only Poland or not only Nordics, we go global. We want to show the product also to, I don't know, Spain or Italy, where you have huge amount of motorcycle fans. We are going global with Discovery. Secondly, we are going multi-platform. We are going to use all the portfolio we have at Discovery. We have free-to-air channels, we have cable channels, we have OTT platform. We are going to use everything we have. And then we are going to go very in-depth coverage, way beyond live, and try to always push the domestic coverage in the countries where we are racing. That may involve at some point, from time to time, free-to-air, some kind of free-to-air coverage. The goal, we bought all the statistics of SGP 2017, 18, 19, the pre-COVID years, and the goal is to multiply by 5 that 2019 audience next year, and to reach to 100 million by 2024. And we think we will deliver this.
So where exactly we can watch this?
So obviously, Discovery Plus, which is a super priority of Discovery, will be a home for Speedway fans. They will be able to find everything they love, the live, the studios, the experts, the former world champions, the enhanced experience, data, and so on. But we are going to use also in Europe Eurosport. Sometimes we can go live, sometimes, always we will go, we want to show the product with promotion, highlights, and so on, and expose the sport to an audience which is not necessarily used to watch Speedway. And we are going also to push and use the free-to-air broadcasters that Discovery has in UK, in Poland, in Sweden, in Denmark, in Germany, to enlarge the fan base. Outside the territories where, for instance, Eurosport is not there, we will be distributing and sub-licensing Speedway outside Discovery Network. Discovery is distributing huge, I mean, major events worldwide, like Tennis Open, US, Australian Open, Giro d'Italia, the Olympic Games all over Europe, and PGA outside USA. So we have a lot of connections with other broadcasters, and Speedway will benefit from this.
And one more thing you've mentioned at the beginning, there is also a documentary planned for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be called Drive to Survive, obviously. Maybe Slide to Survive, I don't know. But that's what we explained to the riders yesterday. It is so important. There are so many stories that you don't necessarily cannot see on live, when you are live. So we want to produce 10 episodes when the season is over, probably around Christmas. The first window will be on Discovery Plus, and then we will go on Eurosport, and then we will go on other platforms. But we want to show the riders also when they train and when they travel, when they are not necessarily live on TV. We explain them, we say, look, sometimes you like each other, sometimes you hate each other, but those are stories for television, and those are stories for the fans, and we are going to bring this on screen.
Emotions are always important. And speaking of emotions, after that presentation, you can just clearly say that you got really in love with Speedway, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Speedway, and we can't wait. And the green light will come on. Here we go.
It looks impressive, but have you ever seen Tony Rickardsson in action?
Yeah, I promised him a wild card. I don't know if he will take it. Thank you for attending. I hope you have a better understanding where we want to take the sport in partnership with FIM. We are very serious, dedicated about it. We look forward to see you April 30th in Croatia. And the last word, I want to say a huge thank to my team. They have done an exceptional job to prepare this by Zoom in very difficult conditions. Super, thank you. Well done.
Thank you so much once again, and thank you our guests. Thank you, François Ribeiro, George Viegas, and Tony Rickardson. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And thank you for the attention. Well, see you in April 2022. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.